Hello, good evening. This is Brother Benson Media, and today is on a Saturday. We are blessed to have this opportunity to have a conversation like we always do. We also live on our sister channel, Kikao na Sauti. Allow me to take this opportunity to welcome all our viewers and to remind you that over here we do say that your opinion counts. If you will be watching for the first time, we request that you kindly like and subscribe and possibly give us your take on the discussion that we are having tonight. I want to remind you that we are also live on our Facebook platform. And if you are watching over there, I've shared a link via the comment section. You can simply join and, of course, possibly give us your view. We do have this kind of conversations on a daily basis. So you can always join and, of course, be part of these conversations. And, before again I start, I've shared a link at the comment section. If you are there, you can join and possibly give us your view or share your view with us. And today we want to have a discussion on the topic that is there, Kalou aftermath. We've seen the winners, we've seen the losers, and the question that is coming, will it determine the Mount Kenya vote in the coming general election that is 2027? That is the question that is there. That is the question that many people are asking. And so tonight, we also ask the same question. What or how was this particular election conducted? And before we get into deep details, allow me to just welcome Judith and say hello to Judith. Thank you so much for finding time to join us. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Paul, the comment section. Thank you so much, Paul, again, for also finding time to join us this evening. And straight to the discussion of today. Allow me once again to say good evening, our dear supporters. And so tonight we dive into one of the most eventful political weeks in the recent memory. From the Olkalau by-election aftermath to youth politics, legal battles, government salary debates, and even a cyber attack targeting the president's website. This episode is about understanding the deeper forces shaping our country. And as always, I've been waving in your questions because this is a show that is built around your voice, and we do say that your opinion counts. And I'll start with the aftermath. What really happened in Olkalau? The Olkalau by-election was not just it wasn't just a local contest. It became a national conversation because Nyandarua sits at the heart of the Mount Kenya political identity, a region that has historically influenced the national outcomes. And that then brings me to this, almost everybody in the Republic of Kenya, they were all speaking about Olkalau. And what was so funny about it, if you remember, were the comments of the DCP leader and the leaders of UDA. And I remember a clip where the deputy president, Professor Kithure Kindiki, was saying that the Olkalau by-election is a test, and that particular by-election is what is going to, determine or to clarify who really has the power in the Mount Kenya region. And I remember him saying that anaenda kumwonyesha dust. Unfortunately, it has gone the other way. And UDA, after spending a lot, are now finding themselves at a point where they're being mocked by quite a number of people who are having a divergent view based on what had happened. And so, Nyandarua County has traditionally leaned towards an established politics. But recent elections have shown voters fatigue. We've seen fragmentation and a desire for new voices, where, of course, uh, you know, if we try look at what really happened and how the voters were conducting themselves and how they took the goodies and how they were, despite getting the goodies, they decided to make a decision that was contrary to the things that they were given. So the by-elections in Kenya often reveal mobilization strength that we've always witnessed in the many by-elections that we've seen. It also depends on the ground networks and, of course, emerging alliances. Like today in the Mount Kenya region, we're seeing a popularity of DCP. And not just that, even if they don't predict the national outcomes, they really matter for the political, for these political platforms that have always brought their candidate. So what we saw was the turnout was, of course, lower than the general election compared to what we've always witnessed. And so a common trend in the by-elections, we've always seen not so many people turning out compared to the national or the general elections. But the intensity of campaigning was, of course, unusually high. We saw almost all the government in Kalou, and they were all there doing what they were doing. I can see Judith at the comments saying that he said wataheshimiana. Yeah, I saw Professor Kindiki saying that this by-election is going to ndio inaenda kuwafanya waheshimiane, na hivi sasa what we saw, sijui sasa kama ataheshimiwa kulingana na yale maneno alisema ama ni yeye ndiye ataheshimu mwenzake. That is the question that we are asking. And so Judith, you can as well give us your view. Ni nani anaenda kuheshimu nani hapa sasa? And the question I want to ask you is, does the Olkalau results tell us anything about Mount Kenya's mood heading into 2027? That is a question I'm bringing forth to you, Judith, and our listeners. Just give us your view. And the question once again is, does the Olkalau result tell us anything about the Mount Kenyans' mood heading into 2027? My view is it tells us about the current frustrations that are being faced within the Mount Kenya region. It tells us about the local dynamics of different views of different interest. And it also tells us about the strength of a certain network. But it does not predict 2027. That would be my view. So, we've seen political analysts cautioning that by-elections are influenced by the local grievances, where whenever the locals feel like you're not good enough for them, they will not give you a chance. It is also influenced. We've seen by-elections being influenced by the clan dynamics. We've seen candidates' personality, where, for example, what we saw in Olkalau was the personality of the DCP candidate. This was a man that was seen and, of course, was even called Chokora by certain, leaders from the government side. And that actually partly evoked the emotions of the people. And they said that, well, this could be our person, this could be somebody who will understand us. And that is why they gave him a chance. We have also seen the ground mobilization, which, of course, the government side, UDA did, the DCP side did what they were doing. And, of course, it also depends on the short-term alliances, where, for example, the alliances are coming out. For example, now we are having the two That is the Kenya Kwanza, which is of course UDA, and on the other side of the opposition, we are seeing quite a number of parties also coming out, and they are all singing one thing, one term. They are all against the government, so that again can partly influence. But again, I can say that they do not show political actors still have the machinery, and which ones are losing the touch. So, if I'm giving my views on the winners and the losers on a fact basis, I can say that the winner, who is the candidate who secured the seat, gained visibility and, of course, the bargaining power towards the general election. DCP, who is the winner, of course, they are partly going to be very visible in the Mount Kenya region, and they are bargaining power in terms of the leaders within the opposition. That has given them a mileage. On the other side, we saw UDA losing, and that party is, as much as they did invest heavily, but they failed to mobilize effect. No, I wouldn't really say they failed to mobilize effectively, because they did. But again, we've also seen some neutrality where national parties that treated this as a test run rather than a decisive battle. There were so many people who were battling it out, but then they just wanted to be on the ballot. They did not have much. What we were seeing were just two political parties coming out to fight each other. So something else was that I want us to just give our views on is the issue, the issue of bribery, the issue of goodies, and the issue of bribery, the issue of goodies, and the culture of ground and politics. And before I get into that, allow me to just acknowledge the presence of Good Year, who is saying hi. Thank you so much, Good Year, for finding time to join us this evening. We really appreciate your time and your presence. Judith is saying, I remember Sudi babysitting in Arali. Yes, I did. I saw that as well. That was a smart way of trying to relate, or to be, trying to lie to people, or trying to seek some sympathy so that people would see him as, a leader would um, get low to where they were. But all those never materialized. Uh, they never saw anything positive out of it. The people of Nyandarua made one decision, a decision of electing somebody that they felt was there for them. Yeah, so on that, let me just give my views on the bribery, the goodies, and the culture of the ground. We've seen Kenya's elections law, specifically the Elections Act of 2010. It criminalizes bribery. We've seen IBC has repeatedly warned that food distribution, cash handouts, transport in giving of transport, goodies like t-shirts, water tank, all these kind of things are illegal when used to influence voters. Yet on the ground, these practices we witnessed quite a lot. If you read the Elections Act 2011, food, cash, giving of transport and goodies, and of course with the intention that you're using to give, they are all illegal. They are illegal. But what did we see? It was everywhere. So the question I'll ask our viewers this evening is, are goodies now the expectation? Have voters normalized bribery? Are goodies now the expectation? Have voters normalized bribery? That is the question that I'm asking, that I would want to hear your take. Our viewers, most of the ones who are watching at the at the comment section, and Yeah, so you can just give or share your views on this. Good is now the expectation. Voters normalized bribery. My view to this is a painful but important question. Many communities have come to see campaign goodies as compensation for economic hardship, not bribery. But IEBC insists that bribery undermines democracy. It is not just IEBC. We've seen political parties, we've seen Kenyans coming out to say that bribery undermines democracy. It distorts the voter's choice because it partly influences the voter's choice. It creates dependency. That is why we are seeing so many goons are coming out because they want to depend on these particular people for survival or for movements. It also fuels corruption to the highest hand. That is why we saw quite a number of serious bribery. And you'll find that those within government would simply go get into corrupt activities, take money, and get to use it in the elections. So the all Kalou by election, it showed us reports of nighttime distribution of food, which we saw was everywhere. We saw cash tokens everywhere. We saw promises of bursary, transport facilitation, gas being given to the people. We saw, electricity was also being brought forth. These are not new, but they show the gap between the law and, of course, the practice. Yeah, so allow me to read some few comments here. Judith here is saying, watu wamepanda bei. Okay. Since there is no development, then give them goodies. So you're saying that is the expectation currently, Judith? You can kindly expand. Anyway, thank you so much for just engaging us, and allow me to remind our viewers that this is the Benson Media. We are live on our sister channel Kikao na Sauti. We're also live on Facebook. From whichever side that you're watching, we request that you kindly like and subscribe, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us. Yes, something else that I wanted to give my views on is DCP's first MP. What is the symbolism and the reality? The Democratic Congress Party, that is the DCP, is a relatively small, still new party. Winning its first MP seat is symbolically important because, number one, it gives the party a voice in parliament. It increases bargaining power in coalitions. It signals voters' openness to alternatives. The question I want to hear from you, your views on, is, does DCP's win change anything nationally? Judith and everyone who is watching, you can give us your view on that. Does DCP's win change anything nationally? Because what we are seeing is DCP has gotten its first member of parliament. This is going to give the party a voice in parliament. This is going to increase the bargaining power in the coalitions and the alliances that they are forming. This will signal the voters' openness to alternative, that is, to this party DCP. So the question again is, does DCP's win change anything nationally? My view is it changes visibility. It changes, when I say visibility, it means so many things. It changes how people will be looking or engaging with the DCP. Like I've said, it gives the party the voice. It has also increased the bargaining power in coalitions. Yeah, but even party start some. I mean, this party has started somewhere. It is still a small party. Having its first member of parliament is a show that even the giants began from one seat and then they progressed. That would be my view on the All Kalau and the All Kalau by election. And Judith here is saying that since there is no development, then give them goodies. That is what Judith is saying. I can say Goodyear is saying thanks. I've been isolating for 2 days, even indoors is worse. But how are you doing? Okay. Thank you. Allow me to welcome Bwana Msimamo. Msimamo, I want to take this opportunity to just welcome you and, of course, to remind you that we've been having a discussion here that is specifically the topic was the aftermath of Olkalau, what really happened in Olkalau. And I've said that the election was not just a local contest, it became a national conversation because Nyandarua sits at the heart of the Mount Kenya political identity, a region that has historically influenced the national outcome. And I have said that, uh, Nyandarua County has traditionally leaned towards the establishment politics, but recent elections have shown voters' fatigue, fragmentation, and of course a desire for new voices. But by-elections in Kenya often reveal mobilization strength, like what we saw. It shows the ground network, it shows the alliances, and if they don't predict, these ones do not really predict the national outcome, but the parties participating really mean a lot. And so the question I was asking is, does Olkalau, Bwana Msimamo, as you come, does the Olkalau result tell us anything about the Mount Kenya's mood heading into 2027? That was my question. Bwana Msimamo, you can just give us your views on that before we proceed.
Sawa ndugu yangu, mimi niko salama, namshukuru Mungu. Nimeiona siku, lakini pia kubwa zaidi furaha kujumuika nayo tena hapa. Unajua jana nilikuwa na ndugu yangu peke yetu hapa, mimi na Benson. Unaona, sasa nikajaribu kutafuta mwanangu wa ubavuni hapa, sikumkuta. Nikasema labda amebanika mahali ama ameshikika mahali, basi tukalipeleka lilivyo. Lakini ni furaha iliyoje tena tukikutana hapa tena kwa mara nyingine. Ila tu kabla niingilie katika swali lako, wacha nifanye lenye tija hapa kuweza kuwakumbuka wote wale ambao wako upande wa comment section, Paul Kusiang, Judith, lakini kubwa zaidi ndugu yangu wa mbavuni hapa Gudia, na pia nimwambie asante sana, abarikiwe na nimeshukuru haswa pakubwa. Nikirudi kwa swali lako kwamba labda tafsira ya uchaguzi wa Kalou basi unaashiria nini haswa tuenda kwa 2027 haswa katika siasa ya mlima. Je, mlima uko namna gani? Historia ya mlima ndugu yangu Mark tunaijua, wao wakisema ni left ni left, wakisema ni right ni right, so wakiamua wameamua. So kwa ishara hii ya Olkalau basi inamaanisha kwamba mlima ama central ile kwamba wao wameamua kubaki haswa kwa one term. Hivyo wale ambao ni wapenzi wa two term, ambao wengi wao si wananchi bali viongozi, itakuwa ni kazi ngumu mno kuweza kubadilisha haswa tafsiri nzima, kwa sababu tuliona haswa hata wamama wazee vikongwe wanashikiliwa mkono huku na huku kuhakikisha kwamba wanaenda timiza jambo lao la kidemokrasia. So hii inaashiria kwamba 2027 itakuwa zaidi ya kile ambacho tuliona Olkalau, kwamba wao washamua ni one term, na sidhani kama kutakuwa na mabadiliko mengine tofauti na yale ambayo tumeyashuhudia, kwa sababu amegusia mambo mengi, mfano suala la goons waliweza kutibiwa mapema na pia hawakuweza kupata mwanya haswa kuweza kufanya ya kwao, lakini vile vile pia tukiangalia maaskari wetu walikuwa na kazi kubwa hadi wananchi kuamua kuweza kuwapekeshen kila mahali kuona kwamba wao hawajahusika ama wana njia yoyote ile ya kuweza kuharibu sauti yao ya mpiga kura pale debeni. So unajua sasa, katika hayo matokeo yanaashiria kwamba 2027 itakuwa moto zaidi, haswa kuliko na hata hii ambayo tumeonyeshwa Kalou. Kwa hiyo kwa utangulizi ni kwamba tutam wana kibarua kigumu haswa kuweza kubadilisha taswira nzima ya kura ya Central tuendako 2027. Asante.
Okay, thank you Bwana Msimamo. Really appreciate your presence. Umeuliza nilikuwa wapi jana. Jana nilikuwa, I was a little bit held up. I got home a little bit late, and by the time I was getting home already, the show had the show was already over, and so I didn't get the opportunity to to join yesterday, but everything is okay. We thank God. I appreciate the fact that you always found time to join us, and not forgetting our good supporters at the comment section. We appreciate as well your consistency, your support, and your encouragement. We appreciate so much. Kiaje, Judith, would you kindly clarify that there are people, they have you heard kuna mtu anauma watu kivipi? Kindly clarify, Judith, at the comment section. Bwana Msimamo, something else that I wanted you to just give your views on is, we've seen the bribery, which you've talked about. We've seen the goodies and, of course, the culture of politics on the ground. Bwana Msimamo, Kenyan's elections law, specifically, if you read the Elections Act 2011, it criminalizes bribery. IBC have, of course, reminded the politicians of this. You know, according to the Elections Act 2011, things like food distribution, cash handouts, payment of transport for these transport inducements, the goodies, especially when you're giving them with the view of influencing voters, it is illegal. It is illegal. That is what the Elections Act speaks about. But on the ground, what we saw, all these things were happening. So my question to you again, Bwana Msimamo, is, these goodies now the expectations by the citizens? Does it mean that voters have normalized bribery? It is a normal thing today. Because from my understanding, many communities have come to see campaign goodies as compensation for their economic hardship, but not bribery. IEBC is also coming out to say that bribery undermines democracy. The Kenyan citizens have always, again, we saw even young people going to the street saying that bribery undermines democracy. It distorts the voices of the people. It changes the view, the thinking. It creates dependency. That is why we have so many young people following up on politicians and becoming goons. It fuels corruption. We saw all these things in Kalou. So the question I'm asking you is, Bwana Msimamo, siku hizi wananchi wanataka tu hizi goodies. They don't, that is what they expect from the politicians. And another question is it now a normal thing that a politician akikuja lazima apeane? You'll give us your view on that, and I
Uh,
can see.
yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Proceed.
Sasa hili hili siwezi nilaumu mwananchi kwa sababu viongozi ndio wamekuja na hii hulka, kwa hiyo ikawa is like a normal thing kwamba lazima aje na magoodies na nini ndivyo apate kusikizwa. Kwa wakati huo wa nyuma ilifanya kazi, ilikuwa ni rahisi kuweza kumbadilisha mwananchi, maana kuna yale ambayo ilikuwa kidogo yanafanyika, haswa yanaonekana upande wa uongozi, kiasi kwamba hata hii goodies ilikuwa ni kama norm, uwe na hela ndio usikizwe. If you don't have money, inakuwa ngumu sana kuweza kuwarai wananchi, but imekuja ikaharibika. Unajua, mnaambua mgemo ukimsifu sana basi tembo lile uliweka maji. Kwa hiyo hawa wakazidisha mno. In fact, hii regime ambayo ipo kwa sasa hivi ikazidisha mno kiasi kwamba imekuwa ndiyo silaha pekee ya kuweza kubadili haswa akili na maamuzi ya mpiga kura. So imefikia wakati mwananchi naye
Yes, msimamo, are you there? Okay, allow me. I don't know, but the Ben, if you have some few minutes, I give you a chance. Kindly confirm if.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much for finding time to join us, and we are having this discussion more so on the aftermath, what really happened, and we've said that the All Kalau by-election was not just a local contest; it became a national conversation because Nyandarua sits at the heart of the Mount Kenya political identity, a region that has historically influenced the national income, the national outcomes.
Mm.
And, we've given our views, the expectation, we've said quite a number of things, the mobilization, the groundwork, the merging alliances. We've also given our views and also asked what were the desires of these particular voters, what were their expectations. We've looked into the turnout, where, of course, it is not as many as we've always witnessed during the main general election, but what we saw was a good number. We've also asked whether this, election that we saw, does it tell us anything about the Mount Kenya's mood heading into 2027? That is a question that probably you'll give us your view on, because we've seen political analysts cautioning that by-elections are influenced by quite a number of things. We've seen the local grievances, we've seen the clan dynamic, we've seen the candidate's personality, the ground mobilization, we've seen issues of money arising. And so we even got to the point where we have a loser and a winner. What does it mean for DCP? What does it mean for UDA? And what is what would be the view of the people outside here? That is part of the question we are asking.
I, people, especially people having different views, especially because the by-election of Olkalau has really put it on the national center stage of politics, because if you're very keen, especially for the now is the from yesterday until today, politician have been talking about it. You could listen to especially politician from the Luo Nation, politician from the politician from all walks of life, they've talked about Olkalau. But when you want to look at Olkalau, you have to look at who are the winners and the losers in this election. And to me, the people that are the losers are the majority of Mount Kenya member of parliament who are not allowed to DCP or who are decampaigning Rigathi Gachagua. They are losers because based on the results that has um, um, as the way the result has shown that there is a leaning, uh, majority of Mount Kenya are leaning towards DCP, and that one is an indication on the All Kalau. That is one. Secondly, the biggest losers here again is the UDA candidate. You know, I listened to Hassan Omar, whereby he was talking about how President William Ruto has given the Mount Kenya number of PSS and all that. But remember, these were given because actually they assisted in supporting President William Ruto to President William Ruto to get into the power, because that was the power agreement. This was not about Ol Kalau. Yeah. So when Hassan Omar is talking about like the president has always distributed around 17 PSS and the CEOs, that was agreement that was there before Ol Kalau. But now, since Ol Kalau has spoken quite much differently, so they are bringing that analysis. Then another loser again here in this by-election, I would say, is President William Ruto. The reason why I would say that it is President William Ruto is, even though he did not kind of avail himself physically, but I think behind the scenes he was pulling the strings, because I do not think, or you cannot convince me that the polls that were going there, the gas cylinder, the mattress that uh, uh, are marked in the GK, you know, those can happen even during the election, where the the election were there and we saw the hooded men in those SUVs. And you know, when president had an opportunity to speak, he did not speak about them. So you know, it shows a failed uh, uh, state in a way, especially when it comes to say security, because you cannot convince anybody that with the number of police that were deployed in that area, especially during the by-election, such like institution, such like I mean, incident can happen. So that is the reason. Another loser is also the member of parliament, especially those who are the number plates of those vehicles who are run. You know, um, especially when some of the number plates, they were saying that was tied to the member of parliament, a particular member of parliament. It shows what kind of leadership are you offering. These are your people, your kingsmen, and if it can reach a point whereby in your kingsmen you come and bring such like people uh, to disturb them, at the end of the day you find that two people lost their lives in that. So that is the losers. But now when it comes to winners, the winners I would speak of IBC, despite the fact that the little face that we have, people have in IBC, but they try their level best. You know, is if you compare what happened in Mbere and what happened in Olkalau, especially in terms of service delivery and in terms of how they organize yourself, there you can say that they did a commendable job. Another winner is I said is Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua is the biggest winner in this election. This one elevate especially his stature or his value, especially when it comes to negotiation in the table of when they will be making coalition, because he has sent a warning, especially to those who are those who were those who are going to vie, and he has a stake to make those decisions. And it is a big, I would say it's a big threat, and is also, I would say, that is a big plus, especially to the united opposition, because with this, which means Rigathi Gachagua will have to dominate, and so in those principles, they will have to give Rigathi Gachagua maybe a upper hand. Another winner, I would say, is Methu. And the reason why I'm saying that Methu is a winner, remember, Methu was the face of this campaign. you know, from the day one. Rigathi Gachagua was just making calls, but Methu was the face of the campaign. And if you're very keen enough, even the member of parliament who have just won, if you look at his face, he tried to take that the face of Methu, of having the beard and all that, and that one, it tells you that Methu really did a good job. And also, what I can say about Methu, remember when they were barring the member of parliament where by election was taking place, Methu told the president, "I respect you, but I don't fear you." And this was a match that the president was matching with Methu, political match. And actually, Methu now confirmed in terms of political match in that area. Actually, he doesn't fear, but he doesn't fear the president, but he respects him so much. Another big loser that I did not speak about, Mr. Makobura, is Matiangi. I feel Matiangi is a loser, and he needs now to go back and strategize well, or they have another alternative. From the look of things, I do not think that the Jubilee Party. I do not think that Jubilee Party will compete UDA, especially in Mount Kenya. From all the indication, the political indicators show that Rigathi Gachagua will sweep, or Rigathi Gachagua political party, the DCP, as the popularity in that region. So what does that one mean, especially for Matiang'i? Remember, when you look at our politics, some of these positions you are given based on what you are bringing on the table, or based on what did you contribute during the funding of those political parties. So if you look at Fred Okengo Matiang'i, he has a Jubilee ticket. So, and he is bringing that Jubilee ticket on the negotiation. So it means that he will only come in with the people from the Kisii land. And how will that one influence, especially the decisions on the united opposition, ama Komboa Kenya yenye naona nani ameandika. So is also one of the biggest loser in this by election. And another winner, I would say it's a united opposition, and they are winner because like some of the questions that they've been asking, have been answered. The only thing they need to unite and uh, and confront one candidate, and they might win. Lastly, the biggest winner are the people of Olkalau. And why do I say the people of Olkalau are the winners? Because they've shown the country that you can vote wisely despite the many resources that have been placed along your way as a way to entice you to vote another way. You forgo all those and vote with your conscience, that what your conscience is telling you. And that's why you see, when you are very keen, the people who are very bitter, I tell you earlier, you look at the way Wanga is speaking, Oburu Odinga, the ODM party leader, when he was having a fundraiser the other day, he decided to attack Rigathi Gachagua. Millie Odhiambo told them, Otieno Kajwang told also that this election is not going to be you're not going to win this election based on resources that you have, because all Kalau people have answered those questions. So that's my take.
Thank you. You've actually reminded me. I saw the comments of Senator of Oma Bay saying it blank at it as it should, that the coming general election is going to be a determinant. It is going to clarify to the people. I mean, the people would get the opportunity to elect the people that they want. And I had him reminding the political leaders that they should know that this time round it is not all about money, it is not all about kuinuliwa mkono, it is not all about who you know, it is all not about a political party. The senator was then telling the people that it's going to be, if you are already elected, the people will ask you what you've done as a member of parliament, as a senator, as a leader. And if you have answered, or if you have, something you've done that you can point out to them, probably they will give you a chance. But if you don't, he said that from what he saw in all Kalau, it is not going to be easy. And that then brings me to this question. Bwana Msimamo, the all election in all Kalau, has it brought a new thinking? Has it reminded the leaders of the possibility? Has it reminded the leaders of how the citizens are thinking? It is not all about money. It is all you are offering as a person or as a leader. Is that the truth of the matter? And can it influence the national election, Bwana Msimamo, before we get into the other topics?
Asante ndugu yangu, vya msalimia ndugu yangu amekuwa hapa Ben. Kabla nijibu hilo, nimalizie lile kabla nitemwe hapa na net kidogo. Kwamba ulikuwa umeuliza kwamba haya masuala ya hongo vipi tena, tukizingatia uchaguzi ule wa jana ole Kalou na masuala na gudi zote walizofanyiwa, kisha mwisho wa siku wakafanya maamuzi yao. Nadhani imefika hatua kwamba Mkenya sasa haridhiki tu na tonge la mkononi, kila anahitaji ni ule ambao ni wa mvuleni, yani ule ambao kwa safuria ama kwenye sahani ule. So ukimpa tonge la mkononi anajua fika kwamba hili ni tonge ambalo halishibishi, ili nishibe lazima nipate wa kwenye sahani ama kwenye mvule ama kwenye safuria ama kwenye nyungu ule. So wanasiasa hawa wametumia Wakenya for long na matonge haya ya mkononi kuweza kuteka hisia na kubadili mitazamo kutokana na shida ambazo tunazipitia kama Wakenya, swa shida ya uchochole ambao ni mwingi mno katika taifa letu. So wananchi sasa wanaonyesha wazi kwamba hela si kitu, kile wanahitaji ni huduma zilizo bora, na ni huduma ili zipatikane kuwa bora ni viongozi ambao watakuwa na tija, viongozi ambao ni bora zaidi. So kwa kweli ole Kalou imeamsha mwamko mpya wa kisiasa katika hili taifa. Nadhani maeneo mengine ambayo alikuwa na hatihati wataweza kufanya vivyo hivyo. Unaona kwamba mwananchi ndiyo kusema, na akiamua lake basi kwa kweli haswa inakuwa ngumu kwa kuweza kupanguliwa. Unaona, so nadhani hilo ndo nalizungumzia haswa zaidi kwamba hongo inaelekea kwamba hela sasa hivi haibadilishi mawazo ya Mkenya kutokana na viatu ambavyo vimeweza kumbana. Uko nataka kuongezea hili swali ambalo ulikuwa umeniuliza, lakini pia vile vile haswa nikirudi katika swali lako hili la pili ambalo linawiana tu na hili ambalo nimeweza kulijibu. Unaona, kwa kweli tapsra nzima ya siasa yetu katika hili taifa sasa hivi itabadilika, kwa sababu mwananchi for long hajakuwa akipewa nafasi haswa sauti yake kuweza kusikizwa. Mfano, akiandamana anapingwa, wakikutana mahali na kuwa kizungumkuti. So nadhani sasa hivi kwamba ili mwananchi haswa sauti yake isikike, basi ni haya ambayo tuliyashuhudia haswa jana ole Kalou, kwamba hawatakubali haswa sauti yao ikandamizwe tena, edha kwa hela ama kwa haya makundi ya wahuni. Hawa tunaita gunzi, makundi ya wahuni. Unaona, kwa sababu kama ni swala la wahuni tuliona dawa yake jana, waliweza kuipeana haswa wananchi wale wa Kalou, lakini kuhakikisha kwamba kura ile ambayo wanaiendea, kura ambayo ni ya kidemokrasia, kura ambayo imo ndani ya katiba, basi kwa kweli yale matokeo yatakapokuja kutokea, basi yawe ni matokeo ambayo yataonyesha uhalisia wa mpiga kura. Unaona, kwa hiyo kwa kweli mabadiliko sasa hivi ya kisiasa hasa katika taifa letu, basi the losers, nitaungana na ndugu yangu Ben kwamba losers ni hawa jamaa zetu wa serikali, hususan wale ambao haswa walitokea upande ule wa mlima na effort ambao waliweza kufanya na kila kitu walichojaribu kukifanya kuteka hisia, kwa sababu unashangaa kwamba akiongoza anachaguliwa miaka mitano kawaida katika taifa letu, kisha miaka minne anaweza ipoteza haswa, akawa haonekani kabisa kufungamana na mwananchi. Lakini ikija miaka miwili ya mwisho ama mwaka mmoja wa mwisho ule, ndio unakuta kwamba sasa kila jambo linazuka. So Mkenya anatatizika, hawa watu walikuwa wapi, ama hawa viongozi walikuwa wapi muda huo wote mpaka sasa hivi? So ina maana kwamba kama utawapelekea maendeleo tena karibu na uchaguzi, basi ndivyo natarajiwa kwamba hapa mimi niingizwa tu chambo, kisha mwisho wa siku nasaudishwa kwamba hapo ndani kuna ndoano, ili niepukane na hili ni chambo, hiki ni kile kiujanja, kisha nikishawaza chambo, basi nihakikishe kwamba ndoano ile hainikamati. Kwa hivyo hayo ndo maamuzi ya Mkenya yalipofikia, kwamba despite ya yote ile hatatishwa kwa gunism, atafanya maamuzi yake mkononi, hatatishwa kwa hela, maana kama ni hela ama kwa project zile ambazo zinajaribu kuwekwa kwamba zinyamazishe sauti yake. Hilo ndo naweza nikaliongezea kaka yangu Mark, lakini niombe pia vilevile haswa kuliweka tena katika hali ya usawa hili swali lako la pili, maana lilinitoka nikitafakari lile swali la kwanza ambalo nilikuwa nimelianzisha. Ni hayo ndugu yangu Mark, kwako.
Okay, thank you so much. And I just also wanted to remind our viewers that this is somebody, a member of Parliament of Uganda, that was well known at Jumani West County MP and the immediate former Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda, General Moses Ali. He passed away today at the age of 86. This was a politician, a seasoned politician. And I remember when he was going for his re-election, so many people asked why he was even doing so, because his health was not good. He would not speak, he would not stand, he would not speak clearly, he would not stand. He looks like, he was old and of course sickly. So many people really asked why he was doing so. And of course, he went for the re-election, he was elected, and of course, the other day he was removed as the deputy prime minister. And after some few months, of course, he did die. I also wanted to let our viewers know, and of course, to send condolences to the people of Uganda. Yes, Judith, that is the one who died. Yes, that is the one that I'm speaking about. Yeah, so Bwana Msimamo, something else that I wanted us to just, to have a discussion about was today we saw the Catholic bishops coming out to warn the youths, saying that don't be used as goons. Kenyan youth population is massive, over 75% under the age of 35. Unemployment remains high, especially in urban centers. This makes youths vulnerable to political manipulation, paid violences, intimidation, roles, social media, misinformation. Bishop Muhatia's warning is grounded in decades of election violence history which Kenya has ever experienced. So the 1992, 1997, 2007, 2008, 2017 pocket of unrest. The church has historically played a stabilizing role. So my question to you is, how do youths avoid being used by politicians, Bwana Msimamo? Should they join the civic education groups? Should there be document money? Should they refuse the cash? Should they prioritize on other things? Remember, youths are the future, not tools for the political battles. Those are the remarks of the bishop. What are your views on that? And as you come, Bwana Msimamo, you can combine it with this. We saw the LSK pursues the USA quarantine case, where the Law Society, together with others, has a constitutional mandate to defend the rule of law, to challenge unlawful detention, to ensure court orders are respected. The case involving the US citizens allegedly quarantined despite a court pronouncement raises one, the human rights concern, number two, the executive compliance question, and of course, the diplomatic sensitivity of the matter. So, my question is, why is LSK pushing this case so hard? As we have seen, as the court, because the court orders uh, are being ignored, or what exactly? You can give us your view on those two, before we proceed. Bwana Msimamo.
Wacha nipe nafasi ndugu yangu Beni hapo kwa hayo maswali, anisaidie upande wake kama ananipata.
Okay, Brother Ben, maybe you can go first. If you have in. Bana, Msimamo, I think you can just go. I think maybe Ben bado ameshikana.
Now, you wanted me
Unaweza,
to say something, Mr. Makobura?
yes, I wanted you to give your view on two things. The comments of the Catholic bishops warning the youths, saying that, as you know, 75% of Kenyan population are under 35 years of age. So that then gives it the fact that they are the majority. Unemployment, of course, is still a problem and a serious one, more so in the urban area. The youths are very vulnerable to the political manipulation, paid violences, intimidation, roles, social media misinformation. But the bishop is also warning about the decades, uh, you know, the decades violence that we've seen through the elections. The one in 1992, the one in 1997, 2008, 2007. He is asking, where are the youths headed? And so the question that you can give us your views is how do youths avoid being used by the political class? Number two, you can combine it with what the LSK
If you
are
look
talking
at
about.
our politics, uh,
Okay, proceed.
if you look at our politics, is not only in this era. Yeah, I'm getting
Proceed.
violence. It is something that started long way, especially look at YK92. When you read those stories, what do you come up, or what stories do you get from there? So it's upon the leaders, especially, to put in place
You are breaking.
we
I don't know
find
whether you're there.
the youths that are, yeah. Am I still breaking? I can hear you.
Yes, proceed then.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Now
So
I can hear you. Proceed.
okay, so the youths, if the youth, they can put in a proper mechanism to make sure that the employment is created, because something that we have to agree, Makobura, government cannot provide employment to all the youths, or the larger population that are graduating from this higher learning institution. If we would say that the government should give them all employment, then that one we are wrong. But what I know government can do, government can provide a conducive environment, especially for investors to come to promote business ideas that maybe the youths have. Just to remind you, the other day, not very far ago, especially the Luo creators and the musicians were called in Nairobi, and they were called. One of the main agenda was to come up with a circle. Just imagine, si kwa ubaya, it was a very good idea, but remember that they have to be called in Nairobi so that they can form a circle. But now look at where the challenge is. And I'm told, and this one of them said that they were given, after that they were given 20,000 each. I'm not opposing that, but I'm looking at it especially in entertainment, because these are people who are in the entertainment industry. You can form a circle, but if proper mechanism and proper laws are not put in place, especially to promote the musical industry, then it means it's still the same. There's nothing that is not there's nothing that is going to change. Yeah, you look at all that is happening. That one, it also can tell you that the intelligent way or intelligence way in which you create violence, that is called a silence violence, because I give you the money or we do the circle, yet as an entertainer, as compared to other countries, how have we put in laws that make sure that you get your royalties? Majority of the musicians, how do we put in laws so that we do not get copyright? Because that's the places whereby you get your money. How do we put it that they even they put the patent on their product? You see that? So once you do that, and even if you don't form circle for them, yeah, they will have circle, but the rate at which they will be getting their money is sustainable. Because if the environment for entertainment, it is not favorable, yeah, majority of those young musicians, they don't go far. you know Remember, we had somebody like Kaveve Kadore. He had a hit. What happened? You know what happened? And you take a typical example. Watch at the Diamond Platinums of Tanzania. What are they doing? What kind? What is making them to do better in terms of even revenue earning in their musical industry? Even though you can say that their money does not have value, but at some point you see, with their valueless money, they seems to be making good money. So I think with the youths being involved in goonism, in violence, it's just the leaders themselves, because these are they created themselves. They know how to create good jobs. They know where to engage the youth, but they've decided to give them those small money so that they can fight. So that is my take on that.
Okay, Bwana Msimamo, what do you have to say before we move to the next topic about the bishop's comments about the youths being used as goons, and how can that be solved? And again, the LSK is coming out to say that the government is not respecting the court orders or the court pronouncements. What are your views, Msimamo?
Asante ndugu yangu Mark. Youth kutumika haswa kwa wagonzi ni kwa sababu ya uhaba wa ajira. Youth wengi wamesoma, wazazi wao wamesacrifice mali, wameuza mali, wametenga haswa mapeni yale kuona kwamba watoto wao wanaweza kupata elimu ili haswa kesho yao haswa iwe itaweza kuwa bora, lakini vile vile waweze kusaidia haswa wazazi wale ambao wengine wameuza vyao, so hawana kazi, na kwa sababu kuna uhaba wa kazi, basi kwa mabwenyenye kuweza kuwatumia kufanya asiyofaa ni rahisi. Maana ni bora mdomo haswa nani mkono ungie kinywani ule, unaona. Ila tu kwamba hili la gunism sasa hivi linakuwa na ati kwa sababu mostly wakijitokeza wanakumbana na kile ambacho wanakumbana kwa hasira, wenye ghadhabu, wengine sometimes hata kupoteza maisha, wanaweza kupoteza, wengine na kuumizwa. So for youth wanatumika because ya uhaba huo wa ajira. Hela haizunguki haswa kikamilifu, ile la kusanya na ekwa, tunakuta kwamba ndio hii ambayo inafanya kazi ambazo hazina tija, unaona, kwa kuweza kuwajaribu kuteka haswa hisia za Wanakenya kwa kutumia hela, unaona. Kwa hiyo hili la gunism kwa kweli wa youth kutumika haswa kama guns, hili nafikiri linaelekea kwenda mwisho sasa hivi, kwa sababu uongo si kazi. Hii kama utakwenda mahali umepewa 500 uende uharibu wasio mkutano, mfanye yasiyofaa, ikiumana basi youth ndio anaumia, na mara nyingi ni wale ambao wanatoka katika familia za uchochole ama maisha yao ambao si yenye tija. but ukizingatia kwenye wanasiasa unagundua fika watoto wao haswa wanasoma mashule ambayo na security, wanakaa mahali sawa. So unadhani hili kwa kimtazamo wangu kwamba nothing na demeathiri haswa wa vijana wa kutumika haswa kwa mambo yasio kwa tija. Unaona, kimtazamo wangu kaka. Ila LSK kwamba serikali haikubaliani na court orders, mimi nakubaliana na wao kwa sababu katiba iko waziwazi haswa, but unakuta kunafanyika mambo ambayo hayana tija. Unajiuliza sasa, hii katiba mbona imepewa kisogo, na ili hali ndio mwongozo haswa wa hati, na ndio mwongozo wetu haswa kama taifa. Unaona, so nagundua Afrika nakubaliana na LSK kwamba government LSK kwa sababu inaamini kwamba sauti akizungumza anachokizungumza kwake ni sahihi na yeyote anayemkosoa kwake ni adui. So kwa hali hii kwa kweli inalemaza juhudi nzima za hii tunaita demokrasia, kwamba kama kiongozi amepewa jukumu la kuweza kufika mahali fulani kujieleza, basi ni haki afike tena kwa wakati, ili haswa kuweza kuwa na ule uwazi katika utendakazi haswa wa hawa viongozi wetu. So kama hilo halipo, basi unagundua fika kwamba yani kama halipo, basi unagundua fika kwamba kwa kweli nafungamana na LSK kwa kweli, haswa kwamba mmoja haswa ndiye ambaye anakuta kwamba kila kitu haswa anaweza kifanya yeye mwenyewe binafsi. Unaona, hawa wengine wote ni waboreshaji, na unakuta kwamba maaskari wetu wanatumika sasa, badala ya kuweza kuwa na huduma na ukarimu na mwananchi, basi wamekuwa mbali na mwananchi kiasi kwamba haswa unagundua fika unaweza waona wakisindikiza wagunzi gunzi wakifanya wasiokuwa na tija na hawana vyovyote vile vya kufanya because ya sauti moja katika hili taifa. Unaona, sauti ambayo inajiamini kwamba iko sahihi na inajua kupanga everything, haitaki haswa sauti zingine ziingilie pale, zikiingilia inakuwa ni uhadui. That's what I can, hivyo ndo naweza nikaongeza tu ndugu yangu Mark haswa kwa uchache huo kwamba si sheria tu wanaipinga, lakini hata katiba ya nchi. Kwa maana hata ukiangalia yale yamefanyika Kalou, mitungi ya gesi, maendeleo ya lazima tena kwa wakati huu ni kinyume, kwa sababu inazidisha mno ile hali kwamba ule uhalisia ambao unaweza tumika vadebeni endapo wananchi haswa watafungamana haswa na kubadilika mitazamo yao kwa ajili ya hera. Kwa hiyo for real nakubaliana haswa kwamba yupo mmoja ambaye yuko juu ya sheria ambaye anaamini everything, hakuna kitu ambacho kwake kinaweza muathiri kwa njia moja au nyingine. Asante ndugu yangu Mark.
Okay, thank you. I can see Judith has turned the conversation into the political, football arena. Judith, I'll come to you in a few. Let me just finish up over here. Naona unasema tumeanza vibaya. Just wait and see. And I'll invite Barack very soon so that he comes sees how how Judith is, anyway, allow me to proceed with the other question that the other thing that I wanted us to have a look at. Bwana Msimamo, President's website hacked. 41 million Bitcoin ransom. Kenya has faced multiple cyber attacks in the recent years. We've seen government portals, we've seen financial institutions, we've seen telecom systems. The attack on the president's website is serious because, number one, it targets the highest office. Number two, it threatens the sensitivity of the information. Number three, it demands ransom in cryptocurrency. It exposes system vulnerability. And that then brings me to this question. We have very, very clever young people, not just young, quite a number of young people who are very much clever and in this field of hacking. I wonder why such kind of things are happening, and we are also here, and we can assist. Young people can, find way of mitigating all these kind of things. 41 million shillings in Bitcoin is a large ransom. The cyber criminals often demand high amount to test negotiation willing. So my question to you, Bwana Msimama, should Kenyans be worried about digital security? The cybersecurity experts say that the government systems need upgrade. I wonder the people who are employed what they are doing in terms of upgrade of those systems. They also say public awareness is very low. Cybercrime is rising globally. Kenya must invest in the digital resilience. This includes, this incident is a wake-up call. I agree that it is a wake-up call. We are at a point where, there's much that is okay. Thank you, Simama. There's much that has gone in terms of technology. There is a lot of improvement. I think what needs to happen is the government needs to do what is right, and I'll not go much. Probably msimamo, labda upeane maoni kabla utoroke. Msimamo. Yeah. So what does this mean for Kenya? Kenya is in a transition phase, politically, socially, and of course, technologically. The events of this week that we've seen, the political realignment, youth vulnerability, the legal battles over the constitutionalism, the economic pressure, the digital insecurity, but they also show the institutional resilience, active civil society, engaged citizens, a maturing democracy. Kenya is not just collapsing, it is evolving partly. But as much as it is, what are the measures that have been put in place by the government to ensure that the new technological advancements that are coming, they are ready to, to be part of it, to participate, so that they are not left behind? Those are some of the questions that people are asking. Yeah, I think I'll leave now the political side. Allow me to concentrate kidogo on what Judith is saying over here. Yeah. Okay. We can't win trophies. Okay. I'll bring you Barak here. Barak is a good match. In terms of football, you can do a good representation. Riken is not pushing off if it starts. Okay. Today will be the golden boot here. Mbappe has to pass it to FIFA. Okay. I've been watching. Yeah, the World Cup. I think this has been this World Cup. By the way, it was marred by a lot of things. It was not the World Cup that we've always seen. I remember the last one. I remember there's a World Cup. Was it in 2000 and when I started following politics? Was it in 2009? I think so. I think it was 2009, if I'm not wrong. I remember we'd walk several kilometers, even at night, to go watch that particular game. All the games that played during that time, and we would find it tough the following day because we were going to school at the same time. So you'll go to school and then you'll be finding yourself sleeping because you had walked for almost 5 kilometers going to watch football games from different. That was life. This game that we've seen this time round, the World Cup, it wasn't the people never really turned out, or it was not very much. It has not been watched globally as the other ones. I don't know why, but from what I've heard, there was a lot of bribery, even again in this field of politics, and there were a lot of things to do with, it never really followed the law, and that was not right because there were accusations of people. So some people who are actually even given red, they were being brought back to play, and the question was, there are rules of the game. The rules of the game partly were not followed, and being that it was being played in America, partly in the US, and with the many restrictions over there, where we saw when it was starting, there was a referee from Somalia who was supposed to be there. He got there and he was denied entry. He had to come back. We witnessed quite a lot, and that partly made it a little bit tough for. Yes, it made it a little bit boring, made people not to have so much interest in it. I can see Goodyear is saying this World Cup has been fixed. Yeah, I think that is part of what I was saying. There was corruption and, of course, denial of visas, and, of course, the Trump interference. Yeah, that partly made it a little bit boring, or it made people not to be very much active followers. Yeah, but I've seen Goodyear is saying that is rooting for England, and that will not be supporting France. That is not bad. That is good. Judith is saying the worst mistake was posting it in the US under Trump. Yeah, Trump. Trump is Trump is Trump. Trump is Trump. Yeah. So I think I'm glad you admired the. I think I learned it at this point. I learned it at this point. Or what I can do, I can share a link for you, good ear, and Judith. Kindly join and participate in this issue of football. Yes, that is the test that I'm giving you tonight. I've shared a link for Goodyear and Judith. Kindly join. You have the conversation about the World Cup. Yes, Brother Ben, the issue of World Cup is here, and we are asking why this time round it has not been hyped or watched globally as it has always been watched. And there are so many issues which are coming in, issues of bribery, issues of denial of visas, and all those kind of things, corruption here and there, made it tough. What is your view?
I think also it depends. I think also it depended on the host. Like the immigration policies for US was not favorable for some candidates. For instance, if you look at what happened to Iran team, um, they were coming from Mexico. They play, then they leave. You know, I don't think that they did not even get the media coverage, and which did not go well with quite majority of people. We also had an issue where a player of the United States had a red card, and the president had to call the FIFA president, and that red card was uplifted. So there's so much that was, um, so those are some of the things that might have contributed to. Hello, Makubura. That's it.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I'd given I'd given Goody and Judith a chance. I'd actually shared a link so that they can join and partly give their views on the issues of sports, most of the World Cup. And being that Barack is not in, I've seen Judith is partly attacking me. I will call my lawyer Barack
What we
to
need to
come.
do, Makobura, we need to start a session whereby we are going to discuss about Premier
Football.
League, all that, and Judith and Goodyear will be the panelist. That's a very good panel.
Yeah. So let them kindly confirm. Judith and Goodyear, kindly confirm if you'll be joining to lead the debate or the conversation on sports and yeah, I'm waiting for your confirmation, Judith. I'm waiting for your confirmation. Goodyear, will you be available
Makobura, see you.
for the slot? Yes. Meanwhile, allow me to take this opportunity to appreciate and say a big thank you to everyone who joined us this evening. uh, okay, okay. Thank you so much, Goodyear. Thank you so much, Goodyear, for finding time to be with us. Judith, thank you so much. We appreciate. There was Paul. We really appreciate your time. And everyone who joined us at the comment section, we really appreciate. Allow me to appreciate Jeremy Poteng, Leo Nyabaya, for also finding time to join us. We really appreciate your presence and, of course, your consistent support. We don't take it for granted. We really appreciate. Yeah, so Judith, I'll be sharing with you a link immediately after all the political conversations. I'll be hosting you, and you'll be giving us the sport news on a daily basis. Hopefully, that is. I know you are okay with that. I hope so. Meanwhile, I appreciate so much everyone's presence and, of course, everyone's support. Your consistency, always being here with us. We don't take it for granted. We really appreciate so much. And wherever you are, may God bless each and every one of you. Allow me as well to say a big thank you to our good friend Simamo for finding time to join us this evening. Brother Benson was also here. We appreciate so much. There's also those viewers who are always silent. They never comment, they never give their view, but they are always here with us. We appreciate your presence as well. Tunashukuru na tunasema ni asanti. Yes, so thank you so much. Thank you so much, Judith and Goodyear, for the consistency at the comment section. You always gives us the morale. You always reminds us that our time is not wasted, that you're always there with us. It is a good sign. We really appreciate. We appreciate you so much, and wherever you are, may God bless each and every one of you. Yes, I'll. Yes. I'll try find him. He's been. He's been away for some time, but I'll try look for him and pass the your regards as well. Yeah. So thank you so much. We appreciate. May God bless you this evening, and those of you who are Sunday religious people, may your Sabbath, as they say, be a blessed one. Yes, so we do have this kind of conversations on a daily basis. If you are joining for the first time, we request that you kindly like and subscribe, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us. So allow me to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed morning, blessed afternoon, a blessed evening, a blessed night from wherever you're watching us from. We appreciate, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.